excited to get a phone stand whenever I order that, because my arm gets tired. I'm like, I don't want to keep holding this. But welcome back to take two. Hi, how are you? I used to label my before like everything happened, or not before like everything happened, but there was a moment like season 1, it was chaotic, but I was not balanced. And then season 2, I'm just like, oh, I'm entering, season 2, and it's the prelude, it's not finalized. I'm like, you know what, I think I'm gonna stop labeling the seasons, because I think I'm jinxing myself a little bit. Not a lot of it, but a little bit. Like, I'll feel it, and then something happens, and it's just another part of the lesson and growth. But yeah, so I'm just labeling things. There's no method to the madness. I'm just showing up at the end of the day. But no, I used to say that I never had time for anything, and I didn't realize like how much that hindered me in a lot of things. Some strange character, like, look. Ooh, did I just get paid? Praise God. Yeah, I used to say like I never had time for anything. Like, before I started, I wouldn't even want to say a weight loss journey. I would say like I just wanted to be healthy. I wanted to actually see my own reflection, not what I was seeing in the reflection, because I knew that wasn't me. I was 230 pushing 240. I was married. I was drinking a lot, borderline alcoholic, blacked out like 3 times. One time I was in the hospital. Not a proud moment, but it was a moment. And maybe one day I'll share what happened to me, like, of what I remember. But yeah. And then it was just too many times that I blacked out, and I was just like, okay, I really need to stop. And it was when everything stopped around me. So sometimes I feel like we get slowed down divinely, because clearly we're still in the mix of like what some call the matrix, or the everyday mundane like task. You forget, like, okay, you don't even have the energy to like zoom out to see where your life is and check in on yourself and like, hey, like, is this aligned with you? Are we doing things that fit your morals? Like making sure you're still you, tapped in, soul intact, divine intact. I was so distracted, and I was settling, and I wasn't setting enough boundaries in my life. I was making a lot of excuses for myself, and that's one thing a lot of people don't realize. It's just that whenever you do go through, after you make those big changes, you do have to put the mirror into your face and be like, hey, you did this, you allowed this. Everybody has free will, and I had to forgive myself on a lot of things that I allowed, and that's really hard. It's so easy to like say like, well, this person did this to me, this person did this to me, but it takes strength to be like, I allowed this to happen. Like, I didn't listen to my intuition. I got myself into those blackout moments. I started out just drinking socially, and then I, got my first condo, and I started keeping wine in the house, and, my ex-husband, started, like, making cocktails, and that was so much fun, but I was just abusing a lot of it, and I was masking a lot of things, and your body starts rejecting it after a while, because they're like, we don't like this anymore, please stop. And I'm like, oh, that's fine, whatever, you keep going. But no, it's when you start holding yourself accountable, not other people, because everybody has free will, and they chose to do what they wanted to do. They played their part, but you also have to hold yourself accountable. And sometimes that's hard. And I think that kind of stops people from actually wanting to heal, because you do have to face those truths and be like, okay, what did I allow to happen? And honey, it is not easy. Because I let people walk over me. I wanted to be included. I was so tired of being outcasted. I settled in a lot of things, and it took time to be like, okay, I forgive myself. I had to gain the trust of my inner child and be like, you know what, I got you. I won't allow this to happen, but I had to go through lessons of that, and I'm grateful for those challenges. I'm grateful for the people that were in my life, because they played their part very well. If you think about it, they played their part very well. And it was time to part, and that is okay. But I kind of just feel like, the healing journey is not for the weak. It's not for the weak. So, but when, afterwards, like a lot of, like my best friend, she's seen me through elementary school all the way to now. There was some times we just lost touch and fell back into friendship again. She's just like, you have changed, like on the outside, dramatically. I'm like, I really don't know. I just didn't even focus on losing the weight. I focused on healing. And I always say, you will always glow within before it shows outwardly, personally for me. So I always make sure that I'm aligned, and that's why I meditate. That's why I'm in the season where I can't really go out that much. So I'm not outside unless I'm told to be outside. So I ground a lot. I make sure that we're good up here and up here, and I hang around good people. And I had a revelation the other day, and I was like, wow, in the past, I never really dated anybody, or I never hung around anyone that truly inspired me. Not just to be a better person, but that, I wanted to reach higher than the sky. That's something to say, because I was like, yeah, they were just like there. They never really inspired me. And when you come to that realization, you start choosing better people to hang around. Like, I only have my mom, me, and my best friend. That's enough, that's enough. But I trust them with my life. And I rather have friends and family on one hand than, having like tens of thousands of people that I call friends, and I don't really even know them, and they don't even care to know me. So it's just those revelations that you have throughout the years. You're just like, wow, I've grown, and I accept where I was, and I'm grateful for what I was, and I'm grateful for the part that everybody played in that season, and I'm grateful for who I am now. I'm very proud of who I am now. So whenever you get to that point, just allow things to happen for good. Okay? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.